Namaste everyone. Welcome back to Epic Tales of the Mahabharata. I'm Ryan. In episode 9, we heard about Arjun's exile, his marriage, and the slaying of the mighty Jarasandha. Today, we'll hear the story of Shishupal and his 100 mistakes. The devious game of dice which Duryodhan and Shakuni plotted. Yudhishthir was now poised to perform the Rajasuya's great ritual, which would entrench him as the emperor of Bharat. There would be grand rituals. Kings and princes would come and offer their allegiance to Yudhishthir. The power of the Pandavas was at its peak now. But then there was a dark shadow across the arena. Shishupal, the king of Chedi and a fierce enemy of Krishna, nurtured deep-seated hatred against the Lord. So he started insulting Krishna, the Pandavas, and Draupadi too. He questioned the relationship between Krishna and Draupadi. Krishna rose and shouted, "Stop, Shishupal, stop! That was your 100th mistake. Now I won't spare you if you commit another mistake." Krishna then narrated the mystery behind Shishupal's birth. In his previous birth, Shishupal was cursed by some sages and was born with 4 arms and a 3rd eye on his forehead. A divine voice declared that Shishupal would soon lose his extra arms and the 3rd eye in the lap of his slayer. When Krishna embraced baby Shishupal, his birth malformations disappeared. While this pleased her mother, she was equally disturbed by a prophecy that Krishna would ultimately kill his cousin Shishupal. Krishna then promised Shishupal's mother that he would forgive 100 mistakes. Despite the numerous warnings and appeals, Shishupal did not budge and continued his rude behavior. Krishna started focusing on his divine weapon, the discus, Sudarshan Chakra, that materialized promptly. In one stroke, Krishna invoked his Sudarshan Chakra and decapitated the evil Shishupal. However, the chakra's rotation friction caused Krishna's finger to bleed. Draupadi, watching everything, fastened a bandage to Krishna's wound with her veil. The love and affection of Draupadi moved Krishna, and he promised to protect her whenever she needed it. Shishupal's death clouded the ceremony but didn't overshadow Pandava's power. The Kauravas were called to witness this new city of splendor. Duryodhan was full of wonder and envy. One illusion played such a cruel joke on him as he wandered through the palace. He considered a crystal clear floor to be a pool of water and carefully made his way around it. After that, in his haste and confusion, an actual pool of water was mistaken for a firm floor, and in that mistake, Duryodhan almost drowned in the pool. The court was watching, and waves of laughter burst forth. Draupadi was also present. Her laughter hit a nerve and converted into hatred and revenge in Duryodhan's heart. She had slyly declared the blind son of a blind man. The strained relationship between the Pandavas and the Kauravas was common knowledge. Thus, her laughter indicated the power imbalance so evident in the lavish palace of Indraprastha. The humiliation in front of the court and the lost chance to look down at his cousins enraged Duryodhan. His pride boils into a sea of vengeance. He did not want the Pandavas to win at any cost. Duryodhan needed an outlet for anger and found one in his uncle Shakuni. Shakuni was a brilliant player but carried revenge for the Kurus in his heart as his family and he faced injustice years ago during the Dhritarashtra's and Gandhari's marriage. Bhishma locked Subala, Gandhari's father, and his sons in a dungeon because Gandhari was a widow before she was married to Dhritarashtra, and this was hidden from the Kaurava. Every day, only a fistful of rice was given to them. All of it was given to Shakuni by his brothers and his father so that he survived. Shakuni kept his family's bones and used them to create dice as an act of revenge. This dice was specially crafted to ensure that he always won. Sensing Duryodhan's jealousy, Shakuni hatched a plan that would hit at the very core of the Kurus. Shakuni proposed that they invite Yudhishthir, the eldest Pandava, to play the dice. He knew Yudhishthir had a weakness for gambling. Shakuni's expertise would ensure the game of dice would be in his favor. By exploiting Yudhishthir's love for dice, they might even take all that the Pandavas possessed from their wealth, the kingdom, or maybe something more precious. Duryodhan wasn't sure at first. It was not a game, but a trick that would surely land him in trouble. Shakuni reassured him that all would go according to his plan, and there was nothing the Pandavas could do once the game began. Once the plan was put in motion, Duryodhan and Shakuni invited Yudhishthir to participate in the game of dice. As always, valuing tradition and honor, Yudhishthir didn't know how to refuse the invitation. He accepted the invitation even though he was aware of the skills Shakuni possessed. The game was held at Hastinapur in the presence of the elder Kurus, Bhishma, Vidur, and Dhritarashtra. Of course, the Pandavas had no idea what trouble was awaiting them. That's all for today. As I take a leave, think about the roll of dice, which seemed to be an innocent act of chance, which would soon turn into one of the most dramatic incidents in the Mahabharata and pave the way for the epic war of Kurukshetra. Before we end, here are a few questions to ponder. Question number 1. Why did Krishna lose his cool and kill Shishupal? Question number 2. Which episode hurt Duryodhan's pride most and made him seek revenge? And question number 3. How does the plan for the dice game foreshadow what the Pandavas will ultimately have to experience? Thank you for listening to my journey through the epic tales of the Mahabharata. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with everyone else who is as passionate as I am about this epic. The next episode will take you all along with the disastrous game of dice, how the Pandavas got cast down into their darkest hour. May you all stay happy and keep following our adventures through the epics of our past. Namaste.